It's sometimes I think it's it's aimed at Dennis because they're jealous of his good looks.
He was a sexy guy. Welcome back to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about the Beach Boys and their album Surfer Girl from 1963. Now, we haven't done a Beach Boys album in quite some time.
We haven't done anything in quite some time.
Well, a couple weeks.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, with life.
Yes.
So, Surfer Girl. So this is an album that somehow, we've done almost every Beach Boys album. We've done all of the early ones, all of the later ones. We've really basically done them all.
We shocked people with our take on MIU.
That's true.
We were the first on the ground floor with our appreciation of the
Keeping
Beach
the summer
Boys
alive.
self-titled album from '85. We made headlines
Yes,
with
true.
our how much we enjoyed It's a Love Thing.
I do enjoy that song.
I wanted to do this album. This kind of a it's sort of a sentimental favorite, Surfer Girl. It was our mom's favorite Beach Boys song, that and Caroline No.
Right.
And we haven't done Pet Sounds either because we're really big sissies.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We just don't want to talk about it.
It hurts.
It hurts. But I've always loved this album. I think I always enjoy the Beach Boys from their first album, really to their last album. I can listen to everything.
Totally.
Except for that 18-minute long version of Here Comes the Night.
See, I can even I take that one.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing that I really would love to, but I can't.
How long is it?
It's
18 minutes.
It's not 18 minutes. And I know, there's certainly the perception of the early records. People can tend to dismiss them, or they only appreciate them, as they lead up to Pet Sounds and what Brian was doing in the mid-'60s. But I always took them on their own terms. I really love to listen to these. I mean, for one, just talking about, mom loving this song. She moved to California in '62. I don't have to tell you this. I'm telling you this. You know this.
She was there the scene.
She moved from the Bronx to California in '62.
Yeah.
And so she would always tell us about, it's basically just, it's real. It was real.
It's real.
It was all real. It was exactly, watch Gidget, and it's like, it was exactly
like that. That's what it was like, yeah.
And so the stories of California in the early '60s, exactly this time,
are real fascinating.
I have kind of a nostalgia for something that, of course, I never experienced, but I mean, I do through the Beach Boys and, through their early albums. They're absolutely blissful. They are. And they sound, Surfin' Safari is very enjoyable, but by Surfin' USA and certainly by this time, these are works of absolute brilliance. The songs are incredible. The production is incredible.
Yeah, they sound great.
All of their harmonies are perfect. There would be more complicated, complicated arrangements and songs, obviously. But I mean, on Catch a Wave, the harmonies are extraordinary. Mm-hmm. I love. I don't know. It always just knocks me out. The end of that song, is just extraordinary.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's like the baby Beach Boys were already fully formed. They're just,
I think. Babies. I mean, here they definitely are. I don't. I mean, we said like the Lonely Sea was a work of genius. And that song's incredible.
That song.
And Brian, with some changes, that's a song he could have written almost any time. In My Room is definitely similar. There are a couple of peculiarities, idiosyncrasies in this album, but it's really typical. I mean, so South Bay Surfer being Swanee River, things like that. That
well, we know that
very
Brian always borrowed from his influences. I mean, those core those core things that were big influences for him at a very young age, like they never went away.
No, they didn't.
Short and Bread.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like things like that, you know, they were always like the basis that he kind of leapt off of.
So in that respect, this is a pretty whole Beach Boys record, because it does, you know, Boogie Woody, you know, has, you know, the his love of Boogie Woogie on, you know, and is very much here. Of course, Lil Deuce Coupe also has that, and you have, you know, a really pretty ballad, I think, Your Summer Dream, that reminds me of some of his instrumentals that he would do a little bit later. You know, his vocal on that is just, I mean,
like haunting.
I would say lush.
Yeah.
The sound it's so rich. It's
he has
beautiful.
such a gorgeous voice.
Brian's use of like Boogie Woogie, you can go from Little Deuce Coupe to Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, you know, and you know, and I sometimes I do actually, if I'm singing
they
one, they kind of
go back.
But you know, like to reach back for that's such an integral part of the music that I'm not sure if people really noticed as much.
Well, that's why the Beach Boys are so American, in the sense of just like so part of that American tradition of popular music.
Yeah,
and culture. I mean, like it's all just a continuation of everything that was happening in, you know, the 30s, 40s, 50s. It's just like
1830s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one of the things that makes the Beach Boys so great. You know, I feel like in a lot of the Beach Boys videos, we're debunking like commonly held beliefs about the Beach Boys often. You know, like we say the similar things every time.
Say the same things
over and over again. Blah blah blah. But you know, it's fair to mention again, you know, on this album, you know, they're all playing their instruments, and you know, we hate that thing where people are like, you know, oh, you know, they didn't know how to play, or you know,
I mean, he was starting to use studio people, obviously, but yeah, I mean, they did. They that is, it's one of the big Beach Boys myths that
it annoys me.
People repeat that sometimes just so gleefully. I'm not sure why. And it's like, you know,
because it's almost like all of the other Beach Boys, you know, the brothers, and you know, especially Mike Love, and you know, like none of them counted for what Brian was working toward. It was all Brian, and once he got rid of the band and just got into the studio, he finally did what he needed to do, you know. And I mean, that's really not accurate.
I mean, he could do what he wanted to do already. It's sometimes, I think it's, you know, it's aimed at Dennis because they're jealous of his good looks.
He was a sexy guy. Yeah, they hone in on the good looking one, and then just, you know, assume because he's good looking, he's not as talented. He didn't have as much to offer. You know?
I mean, no one was saying that he was as good a drummer as Hal Blaine.
Right.
But, you know, he is drumming. He could do it. Anyway, yeah, that is something. And obviously,
and he looked good doing it.
They wouldn't be playing, you know, all together on a record until really Smiley Smile.
Right.
Which we did a video of.
Yeah.
Several
years
ago. I don't know what it was.
Many moons ago.
As being the last, it was kind of funny also, the last real surfing record that they made, I would say it's their best one, if that matters. I like all of the songs on this, you know, Surfers Rule. I love Hawaii. I think, I mean, it's kind of a little bit like Lana in that, you know, that's a similar kind of a song with the falsetto, you know, beautiful, but also you can see how even that song is more complex in its arrangements, you know, from Surfing USA, from Lana. It's such an obvious thing to say, but the speed at which Brian Wilson was developing
and writing
is just absolutely stunning. Things like that don't happen now. You know, the people that it takes like 20 years for someone to put out an album.
You're not gonna know what you want to do till you're 40, and by that time, it's gonna be too late to do it.
Yeah. It's just, you know, to put out an album and like 62, and by 63, you are developing this style and learning so much and doing things that almost no one else was doing.
Yeah.
It bears repeating. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
You know, it's really not. This album, and you know, also Mono. This is the 1980. Also, I don't have to tell you that this is the 1980 Mono re-release. But I mean, it does sound fantastic. I do wish they would re-release these things in mono. You know, for everything. You know, the Beatles as well. Everything. We have the
I don't know
Rolling
why
Stones.
it's so hard to just give us the, you know,
things as
original.
They were. Yeah, it
versions.
would be nice. It would be nice.
Come on, man.
And especially on vinyl, where I mean, if you're not gonna do that for everything, you know, if you want your folks to go on digital stuff, but for the vinyl releases, I mean, you know, it would be really nice to have these more accessible. So I mean, you know, it's kind of an emotional album for me. Basically, it still is, even though, you know, I obviously heard it.
All Beach Boys have that tinge of pain and loss and melancholy mixed in with, you know, the beauty of it. It's just, you know, it's a really interesting blend. Whether you're talking about, you know, specifically like nostalgic song, you know, that was meant to be like that, or, you know,
Bugged Up My Old Man.
Yeah. Or something just, you know, like Catch a Wave. You know, there's always that little hint of there's always a hint of pain.
Yes.
And but that's
good. End it on a high note.
The pain is what makes it great.
This album is just riddled with pain.
It's pain, but isn't everything?
Life is pain. YouTube is pain. Pain is
They're
pain.
paying now.
I love this album. I mean, if you know, obviously most of the people that watch us and bless them are you know it, and I'm sure, you know, but listen to it again. I mean, just the production, when you listen, some of it is just beautiful, and you know, everything perfectly in its place.
Yeah,
harmonies are incredible.
Yeah, you don't want to overlook these earlier albums.
No,
because there's too much.
I find this a very complete record.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's filler. I know the Swanee River thing, but honestly I like things like that. Maybe I'm deranged.
Well, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to States and Kingdoms if you're not already subscribed, and please stay tuned. Oh, and comment. Please comment. Stay tuned for our next video. We'll see you next time.